So I think what we're going to make today is I have these pork loins center chops. They're boneless. I only paid $3.84 for them. There's 3 of them there, and I'm on a diet and I'm living a very frugal lifestyle because I'm kind of broke right now. And I'm going to make a meal, and I'm sure everybody has a collection of this in the fridge, you know, vegetables that you didn't use up all the way, such as the green pepper here I have, and the red pepper. I have a lemon, I have an onion, I have a piece of Spanish onion there that I didn't use up, as well as an orange pepper, some mushrooms, a tomato, and an apple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up these vegetables, and I actually have a green onion as well. I'm going to cut them up, and I'm actually going to stuff the pork chops with the vegetables with spice, as well as lemon juice and olive oil. So I'm just going to cut up these vegetables, and I'm going to put them in a bowl, and I'll bring you back when I have that done. When you cut up your vegetables, this is what it's going to look like when you mix them up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut up the apple that I have left as well, because apple and pork chops always go together, and I'm also going to put some cinnamon in there as well. So I'm just going to chop up the apple, and I'll bring you next. So the apple's chopped up, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to mix it up a little bit, and then we're going to add in the spices. So it doesn't really matter what spices you add in. That's whatever you have on hand. This is a frugal meal. I don't want you going out and having to buy anything. So you're using the vegetables that you have, as well as the spices. So I'm just going to grab mine and I'll bring you back. So the spices I'll be adding in are black pepper, parsley, onion powder, oregano, garlic powder, and ground cinnamon right there, as well as a little bit of chopped pepper. So I'm just going to add in 1/4 of each, and I'll bring it back. That's what it's going to look like with the spices. So the last spice I'm going to add in is 1 teaspoon. I'm going to use the whole teaspoon, and I'm going to mix it up. And the reason I use the whole teaspoon is because I do like the apple and cinnamon flavor, and I used a lot more apple than I used of any other vegetable as well. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to continue to mix this up, and I'll bring you back. So this is what your mixture is going to look like once you mix the cinnamon in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of olive oil and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. And then I'm going to mix that up as well. And this will be what we'll be putting inside of the pork, and it still has its healthy and beneficials from being a healthy meal. And instead of having grease and all that gross stuff that we don't need, we're having things that are good for us. And it's a completely frugal meal, so you don't have to be like super rich to be able to eat healthy, which a lot of people think that they can't afford to have a healthy meal because, I don't know, there's this whole misconception about what people can afford and what they can't. They can't afford not to eat healthy, is what I really think. So I'm just going to finish stirring this up and get the pork and get that ready to stuff. So because we are working on a frugal budget, we don't actually have a lot of money to go and buy a thicker cut of pork or whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually improvise with this, because I want to be able to eat healthy and I want it to be stuffed pork. So what I have is I have 2 pieces, and they're roughly the same shape. So that got me thinking, if they're roughly the same shape, I can work with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the first pork chop, and we're just going to take the insides, which we have right here, and we're going to sprinkle it on the first one. And it doesn't matter how much you put in there, or on there, or however you want me to phrase it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the other pork chop, which I have right here, and I'm just going to lift that up and show you. And we're going to lay it on top of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of toothpicks, And we're going to piece it together with the toothpicks while it cooks. That way the insides don't fall off. We're going to fuse it together there. And as well as right here. And I'm just going to continue to stick another one right here in the back. And now that gives me a little bit more leeway with what I can stuff in there. So I'm just going to stuff some more in there, and I'm just going to show you that. And don't worry if you drop any, because that's fine. And we're just going to push it in. I'm just going to get another little scoop. We're just going to push it in. And now I'm going to move to the next one, and I'll bring it back when they're all ready to go in the oven. So I have 3 stuffed, so it took 6 little pieces, which isn't bad because for, what, $8 I was able to have the meat that's I needed for this. So, and I am able to make 3, definitely hearty size portions. And I do have some leftover vegetables that I'm just going to sprinkle around and on top, just because it makes it look beautiful. And it bakes the flavor into the top as well. So I'm just going to get it ready for the oven, cover it with tin foil, and I'm going to bake it at 350 for about 45 minutes, and then I'll take it out and show you what it looks like, and we'll decide how much longer it needs after that. So I'll just bring you back in 45 minutes, I guess. So this is what it's going to look like before you cover it with foil and put it in the oven. Now it's time to put it in the oven. So remember, 350 for 45 minutes, and we're going to check on it. So I just took the stuffed pork chops out of the oven, and as you can see, it's starting to cook rather nicely. And I'm just going to lift this up and show you what the inside looks like. And we're just going to put it back in. We're going to cover it back up, and we're going to put it back in and cook it for another half hour, and I'll bring you back. The oven, the half hour has passed. Oh, it smells fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drain off some of that fluid, and I'm going to put it in the oven for another 10 minutes just to give it a little browning on the top, and I'll bring you back. This is what they're going to look like when you drain the liquid off, so we're just going to put them in the oven for 10 minutes. So the 10 minutes is up. I'm just going to put it on a plate, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I just wanted to show how easy they are to pick up once they're cooked. You could just pick it up with a fork, and the same with the other ones. So I'm just going to cut it in half and show you what it looks like. So as you can see, this one in particular has 3 toothpicks, and we're just going to pull them out. And I'm going to cut it in half. And we're going to turn it sideways. And that's what it looks like. So I'm just going to have a side salad with it. So like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.